you really pulled it back, got within 4. Did you have hope that you could still take it in that last quarter?
Oh, absolutely. We were in it. We made a couple of crucial errors when we got momentum in the game, so lots of learnings from that. But, that's sport. When you're fighting from a 10-goal deficit to win, that's hard work. And to get within 3, that shows character. So from that point of view, I'm incredibly proud to be the coach of the Mystics, and I'm incredibly proud of how we finished our season in the second half of that game.
So Lou, obviously the plan was just to get it into Grace. Is that what was said at 3/4 time when you guys pulled it back?
I actually think our attackers were quite disciplined at using the ball to get to the circle edge. They were trying to disrupt the flow to stop us from getting that ball speed and closing down on that. So I think our attackers were very disciplined, and Petra's also very smart. So she knew that 10 goals was a lot. So she knew the best way to do it was to get it quickly and put the pressure back on their attackers. But I think that their attackers were very clinical. I think they used their ball speed well. They kept it flat, so it was really hard to hunt, and they made the court really big. So I think they did very well on attack.
And just finally for you, Salou, it's the end of the Mystics season. How would you sum it up?
I loved it. Very hard, a lot of adversity, as with all teams, but very proud of the character that everyone showed, and we gave everything we had tonight, and they came out on top. So I think they deserved it. Gutted, because I do think there are a few moments we could have tipped it the other side, but that's some learnings for us moving forward.
Helene, you had tough decisions to make before the game, obviously, around Grace. What was the decision not to play her in that first quarter?
Yeah, well, when you have players, if we were playing the final and there wasn't Silver Ferns trials and Com games, you would probably put the Mystics first. But it's important to me that Grace gets the opportunity to trial. So with the return to play program that she's been on, I know how much she's practiced and how much time she's had for her to go out and play with confidence. So that comes down to a decision as a coach when they can't play a full match because they haven't had that practice. Do they play the start of the match or do they play the end? So that was a decision we made. I felt that we started really strong, and in every game we haven't played with Grace, we've still started strong. So our first quarters have been solid. So I don't think that decision cost us the game. I think in a final you need both ends to be firing at once, and so we had times where one end was firing, but in that first half.
And did you think at any stage to bring Filda on? I haven't seen her play a lot in the last few games.
Yeah. Filda's been medically cleared this morning to play, so she hasn't been well. I did. I could bring Filda on, but I thought Monica played exceptionally well tonight, and she actually moved the court and her timing off Petra and timing to enter the circle to open Grace up was exceptional tonight. So, I didn't need to take Monica off either.
First of all, congratulations. I feel like even though you've had quite a rough few weeks, it's still, amazing that you're here. The last few weeks that you've had have been a roller coaster. Do you think if you didn't have those COVID cases and you didn't have trying to get players back, the outcome of tonight would have been different?
Oh, who cares? I'm not going to make excuses for what's happened to our team. I'm not feeling sad for that, because I know in life when you have that adversity it makes you better people, and the Mystics will be stronger next year for it. When you have no adversity and everything's going well, we were beating teams convincingly before we got COVID. Obviously you go into a final with more confidence. We've gone into this final getting the girls back playing today. So when you haven't had those connections, I think the fact that we put a solid game out there, we were within 5 goals of one of the top teams in the competition that they've beaten solidly, every other team leading into this game. Who cares? You're only as good as you are on the day that you play, and we just weren't good enough today. Any other day, maybe we could, but we weren't today.
Was there something in particular that you wish the girls would have done differently out there today, or was it a mixture of things?
you know, as a coach, you can always see and think you can do things differently. That's what we coach them on the sideline. Try this, try that, do it differently. But the key thing I look for is the heart, the effort, and the intent. And none of them gave up out there. So if they'd given up and the score blew out after the first half, then you know, I would be disappointed as a coach. But they gave everything, and they went out there and tried everything we did. That's why we pulled the game back, because they listened and they gave it their all. So for that, I'm really proud.
Helene, what would be your parting words to the Mystics after this season?
We talked about writing our own story, no matter what happens, and the story relies on us sticking together and playing for each other. And they really did that tonight. You know, we said at halftime, didn't we? We're in a position where we can play with freedom now, because no matter what we do now, it doesn't matter. And I think they went out there and did that. And to all Mystics, I love the girls to be able to go out on court and play with freedom, play with their expression, towards their strengths. And I think through the adversity they've had this year, they'll be better for it next year. And I hope that they go away and continue to do that.
And I'm going to turn it around now, Suda. What will you say? What will you and the team say to Helene?
Thank you. We know that Mystics has been her life for years, and that she's given everything, not just her, but also her whānau. And so she's sacrificed a lot for us, and we've been her family. So we're really grateful to Helene. We know that for her it was about the bigger picture, about creating a legacy, and we know that she's done that. And I'm proud of what we weren't good enough on court tonight, but I'm proud of the heart that we had, but also that we stuck to keeping it, to playing with skill, because sometimes when it gets hard, you might be tempted to do other things, but we've always said at Mystics that we're going to play with skill, and if it's not good enough, then it's not good enough. So I'm really proud of that, and I'm proud of what she's installed in us as players, but also with management. So we're better for it moving forward. We are going to miss her, but I 100% know she will not be able to help herself. She will be in there with us as much as she can be.